What's up and welcome guys to One Oak Mentoring, the number one virtual team mentoring service program of all times, right? How y'all guys doing today, man? Today, man, I'm gonna be doing another video on the company where I work. So this is gonna be, I don't know if I'm gonna call it campus structure, right? Let's just do it like that, campus structure, right? So the place I work, of course, I know it's a group home, group home extraordinaire. So the place I work, okay, I'm gonna describe it. So it's like the structuring of this place. It's actually one group home, but there's like 3 campuses, right? Just stay with me, right? Okay, so there's 3 campuses, right? So there's the main campus is Bridges. There's a campus across the street called Horizons, and right next to Horizons on the same side of the road is Pathways, right? Now I heard they got the names from like, it's kind of like now what I heard is like, okay, Pathways, it's kind of like okay, you're walking through a pathway. Now I'm serious about this. This is something I heard. I can't remember where I heard this from, but this is kind of like I don't know, but it's like, okay, there's like Pathways, which is a certain campus. So it's like you go through the pathway and then you see the horizon and then you cross over the bridge, right? So, okay, so there's a campus called Pathways, Horizons, and Bridges, right? Okay, so I guess that's how they, I don't know, man. I'm just giving y'all the structure, and I'll get more into the structure, right? Okay. So, now along with the campus, like maybe just not even, maybe like a half of a lap from the center of all 3 campuses, which they're all like close, like all in close proximity. On down, there's like this donation house. It's called the Steve Hill House. Now that's where Steve Hill, I'm thinking he's like I think he used to be a guy that worked there or something like that. And, he passed away or something like that. But they had a house dedicated to him called the Steve Hill House. Now, the Steve Hill House, that's where like, we have a worker that works there, real sweet lady. She works there. She like, I'm guessing like solicits for donations or something like that, or takes them in, like whether that be like clothing or, just like anything somebody wanted to donate, or if a kid didn't have any clothes, they could just go to the Steve Hill House. They get something, needed to anything, like, right? So, all right, cool. So, that's the structuring of it, right? So, okay, so on Bridges side, there's like a lot of land, right? So, like as soon as you pull in to the front of Bridges, in the front, there's like this big football field, right? That's what they call the football field, right? There's a gazebo, and then on around there's another just huge field. And that's what they consider the baseball field, right? Okay. Now I'll go back and I'll break down like even more on each campus, but the part I just told y'all about, that was Bridges. That's how Bridges is structured. Now Horizons, it's like Horizon kind of looks like, okay, there's one house. Well, I'll get into like the houses and stuff like that too, but on Horizons, one house kind of looks like, like similar to a 2-story house, but really like beneath it is like the kitchen, and then you go up and there's a house, and then to the left there's another house, right? I'm gonna get into all this stuff, but there's another house, and the structuring on that is kind of like more like a flat level house, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And in the middle of that, there's and on Horizons campus, there's also a basketball goal, right? There's a basketball goal and a gazebo on that side too, right? So Pathways was like, Pathways was a mental health facility, right? So like a lot of the things that they did, they had to be like indoors, right? So Pathways is kind of, Horizons and Bridges are kind of like more open, like you can kind of like, move around, go in and out the house, right? But at Pathways, it's like more like a facility, like you're supposed to have a key like to get out, so it's more locked down for the kids, they're mental health kids and stuff like that. But as far as outside goes, I mean, there's not really much like normally not much going on outside. Like behind there, there's like picnic tables where they might go out there and, you know, do stuff like that sometimes. But they have a gym inside of Pathways, right? So, all right. But I'll break that down in like another video, right? But I'm just giving y'all just like the structuring of like the campuses and things like that, right? So, but yeah, that's basically like the structure of Generations. And on Bridges side, there's actually like a really big gym as well. Gym, an inside gym, right? There's like a really big gym. It's a lot bigger than Pathways is, right? So, you know, so they got a gym there. You know, the kids, they can play basketball. You know, they have events and things like that in it. But you know, that's just kind of like the structuring of like all of the campuses, right? All right. So it's technically one group home, but they're split up into 3 campuses, right? So it's like, I think the kids go to certain campuses like based on you know, their past or like what they, you know, have going on, or just like what's more I don't know, what's more like accommodating for them, like, or something like that. But yeah, there's 3 different campuses, right? And so, all right, so I'll just go ahead and just tell y'all about the houses as well. So on Horizons, like, you know, when I was talking about, there's a house that looks like you go upstairs. I know that sounds real confusing, right? But the house that you walk upstairs on Horizons, it's called Jocassee, right? So every house within each campus is like a lake, right, from around here, right? All right. So I know y'all heard of like Lake Jocassee if you're from, like, you know, well, I don't know. Well, you know, there's a Lake Jocassee around here, right? So that's the house, Jocassee house, right? So then there's Hartwell House, you know, Lake Hartwell. Lake Hartwell is the house on Horizon that I was telling y'all is like more like a flat, like more of like a house, you know what I'm saying? But on Bridges side, there is Russell House, because there's a Lake Russell, and there's Murray House, which there's a Lake Murray, right? All right, I'm teaching y'all guys a lot of stuff, man. So y'all just stay up on it, right? So at Pathways, which Pathways is like actually not Pathways is like not functioning right now. You know, we'll get into all that, but yeah, Pathways had like, did they have they had Greenwood, because there's a Lake Greenwood, Wiley, and Moultrie, right? So like, I think it's kind of cool, you know, that they kind of like, you know, that they kind of did that, you know, okay, all right, we're going to structure them out. You know, we're going to name each house after a lake. And, you know, all right, I just thought that was cool, because a lot of, like, some of those lakes I never even heard of. Like, I wasn't paying attention to no lakes, and they was like, all these houses are named after lakes. And I was like, I never heard of that lake. And then, but through time, you'll kind of be like, oh, okay, yeah, you know, that's kind of how it is. And now this company, this group home I work at, I'm talking about, man, it is smack dab in the middle of nowhere. I mean, nowhere, right? So if like a resident tries to run, like, man, they would, like, I'm not even sure how long walking or running, how long it would take them to get like to some kind of like, I'm not gonna say like civilization, but like just say like to a store or something like that. It'll probably take them like definitely like an hour, and that's like giving them like, you know, that's giving them like a lot of credit, you know. And I don't even think it would be like an hour, but it's in the middle of nowhere, which is probably like why it's kind of structured like that. So like a kid, you know, if they try to run or whatever, they just can't get, you know, right into the city and like get into the car, or, you know, like, you know, do something, you know, to somebody or something, you know, because you're just like so far away, right? But yeah, like that's how it's made. A little more things, a couple more facts about it. Is it something I'm leaving out? Oh yeah, and I don't know like what's going on, but like behind like the people that the company is adjacent to, like there's like some kind of cow farm or something like that. And so you just might see like a herd of cows sometimes. It's rare, but you know, I've seen like a herd of cows just like run out into the like the field and like all that stuff, and then yeah, it's a crazy place, man. But let me see, yeah, and that's pretty much as far as like the structuring of it. Close, like maybe about there's like a waterfall, like a waterfall, like I guess fall place or whatever you call it. I know I sound kind of crazy right now, but there's a place there. It's maybe like driving, maybe like a 3-minute drive from the company to there. And man, it's like real beautiful. But just like I said, it's like out in the middle of nowhere. So it's just like these like waterfall, like rocks, like real nature type stuff. And on up there's a park. But it's like I say, man, that park and that waterfall thing, like that's still like in the middle of nowhere, man. It's not like it's like a store or anything like that. You gotta like go pretty far before you can like really see what's going on. So let me see, did I leave anything out? That's pretty much like the structuring of like the company or whatever. And yeah, but you know, like the main campus, you know, that's where that's Bridges. That's where they do a majority of like the stuff, like, you know, the graduations, events and things like that. Because it's like pretty much basically like the bigger campus, and they have like more space, you know, in the gym, and you know, the kitchen on Bridges is a lot better than the rest of them. Not saying the kitchen is trash on the campuses besides that, but you know, that's pretty much it for the structuring of it. Okay, yeah, and behind Bridges there's a behind Bridges there's like a shed where I guess like the maintenance man is, like he works and all kind of stuff like that. And then it's another shed beside that that's smaller, that has like a lot more like donation stuff and things like that, right? So I'll get into like the specifics, like the very specifics of each, you know, campus, you know, and like how it's structured, you know, inside and things like that, right? So hope you guys enjoyed this, man. This is ONEOK, man. Just, you know, telling y'all about the place where I'm employed, man. So I'll be putting a lot more content out, but you guys take care of yourself, and of course y'all know this is ONEOK, and I am out.